Video 2 of the ride creation series. You've just set up your canvas, 1024 by 768 pixels. You've got two layers in your image. You've got Ride and American West, both in each layer. You can hide them, you can show them, and you can show what's on in each layer. When we placed these objects in layers using File, Place, these little icons here are trying to tell you that these are called smart objects. We don't want them as smart objects, and the reason that they are those is because they're essentially links to these files here. They're links to them. So we kind of want to remove that from the Photoshop file so that it doesn't think of them like that. We just want it to think of them as pictures. The way you go about doing that in each layer is you select them and you go Layer, Rasterize, Smart Object, and you can see the little icon changes, and all that means is it's changing it from being a smart object to a bitmap image that you can then apply effects to and filters. The objective of this video is going to be to remove some of these blue spaces, so I'll do the same on the other layer. Layer, Rasterize, Smart Object, and it'll turn those into rasters or bitmap rasters. If you haven't done so already, make sure you've saved your work, so it's File, Save As. The file type you're going to want to use is Photoshop PSD. I've already done mine. It's called Wild West Express 1. So I'm just going to save it there and overwrite the one I've already got. You're going to get this little box pop up because Photoshop's quite an old piece of software. You can maximize compatibility with older versions. Just press OK and you're ready to go. So two layers, and let's start trying to remove some background. The easiest way to get rid of this large section of blue sky in this image is to actually use this tool. Make sure you're in the Ride layer and use Select, Color Range. Once you've selected color range, you're going to get this little box pop up, and you can play around a lot with this little tool, but ultimately we're trying to get rid of all the blue sky, and we can do that with a few settings changes. Personally, I like to start on Quick Mask. Red is the stuff that's going to be maintained. Anything that is not red is going to get deleted or selected and then deleted. So red means it hasn't been selected. I usually press localized color clusters to keep the little selections that we make together, and something around about, I reckon for this image, about 60 should be quite nice. We're going to click on this little pipette dropper with a little plus, meaning that we can click many times on the image to select lots of it. And you just start working your way around the blue sky, remembering that anything in blue, or anything that isn't red essentially, or hasn't been masked in red, or any shades of red, essentially are going to stay in the image. So anything red will stay, anything that isn't red, or you've taken the red away, is going to well, the red stays behind, the blue is going to get removed. Ultimately, that's the whole point. We're trying to get rid of the blue sky. So I'm just working my way around, just making sure the shades of red get eliminated, or as many of them as possible. It's even going to remove the backgrounds in these nice little tiny little sections. But it has its limitations, this tool, in that the foreground picture can't have any of these shades of blue, because if it did, it would start trying to remove those. So if you're trying to do this on another graphic, it works best when the sky is one color and the image is actually a different color. You can try out the different masks. All they do essentially is give you the same image, but it's trying to show you what's going to get selected and what's going to get deleted in reverse. And you can use grayscale as well, but it doesn't matter which you do. When you're finished, you press OK, and all you're going to get is a nice selection of the area that you want to remove. This is the easy part. You press delete and that goes. You want to deselect your selection at the moment, so you press Control D to do that. So that's Control D. And at the moment we've got the Ride layer, which now overlays on there. You can still see a lot of this stuff down here. You could try playing around with that, trying to remove that as well. I figured one of the easiest things for me to do for this image was going to be to take the Ride and simply grab it, and you can just pull it down with the black selection arrow, and I'm going to plonk it about there because I feel like that's going to be good enough for what I want to do.